Hello viewers, this is Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot and I want to read on McCabe and Rosenstein. I've had requests to do that. One comment quite surprised me. One viewer asked, was there anything nefarious in what McCabe and Rosenstein had done? Now, my immediate feeling on that when I guess went into the situation was that McCabe and Rosenstein had access to things that we didn't. They saw intelligence that we haven't seen, and they were privy to an entirety of events. They had a purview over a number of things that were linked. And as you know, in any investigator, in any investigation, in any investigator's mind, which of course is what McCabe has been trained to do, things that are linked, and when you see a pattern, you start to understand what the real motivation is. Now, we didn't have access to that at that time. So I want to have a look at the general conditions around McCabe and Rosenstein in 2016, 2017, when McCabe opened those two investigations. What were the general conditions there? Did they know things about Donald Trump that we didn't? Of course, the famous line from McCabe is that when Trump was presented with evidence from intelligence, he said, "I don't care about what my own intelligence agencies are telling me. I believe Putin. I believe Putin over my own intelligence agencies around whether or not Russia meddled in the election." Okay, so what do we need to know about McCabe and Rosenstein and why they began that investigation? Okay. Let's see what's first up. Okay, so we've got the Hope card. This is tending to me to reveal that they were acting with a fairly high intention in opening those investigations. If there was a Russian agent in the White House, they wanted to really bring hope forward. Now, what was challenging them was the money, okay? So Trump rode in being elected with dark money, the GOP, the donations from Russia. Let's spell this out. What challenged McCabe and Rosenstein in 2016, 2017 was the money. And it was the forceful action of the money. We're not just talking about, a few million here or there. There was the widespread generation of donations and funds, not just from Russia, but from the corporates that were hoping for tax cuts. It was never ending, and that's what challenged them. The power was with the money in 2016, end of 2016, 2017. But they wanted to engender hope, okay? So we're not talking about a nefarious intent here at all, not that I can see at the moment. Now, what is the foundation of this reading? Now, that's really interesting, the Wheel of Fortune and Karma. I felt when I saw Andrew McCabe in that interview, I felt he'd been deeply wronged, and I felt that there needed to be karmic justice here coming forward, and I feel there will be at some stage in the future. That is the foundation of the reading. McCabe and Rosenstein will be considered very, I'm not saying heroes, but they'll be put in with others that have really fought for their country and taken the hits. McCabe was sacked one day shy of receiving his benefits that he'd worked over so many decades to accrue. That is just pure and utter unadulterated vindictiveness. There is a karmic aspect to McCabe and Rosenstein. It will be coming forward in the future. I'm not seeing nefariousness. Now, in the I guess the past here, we've got the sun, the illumination of the sun. As imperfect as the institutions are, the law agencies are, we look to them, and in our country, ASIO is our equivalent to the FBI. They had enjoyed a fairly substantial run, so they had enjoyed what shall I call it? faith, trust in them. They were looked upon as America's premier law enforcement. The FBI has a long history, not always perfect, but they weren't challenged in the way that Trump has challenged them, and I would say denigrated in the way that Trump has denigrated them. But that was in the past. So really what's hanging over all of this is the grief and the anxiety, and that is very obvious when I look at McCabe. I can't see Rosenstein. He remains a little bit hidden from view. He deliberately does that because that is a very good strategy when someone is in a precarious position such as he is in. This is what they've endured. Remember, the money is the challenge here. The money and the power were the challenge. I'm not sure that they still are, but they were acting with hope in their hearts, their intentions, their motivations. Hope that this crisis, what they saw as a crisis, could have been averted. But they took tremendous risks. They were up against, is indeed Mueller, up against tremendous pressure here, and it's the kind of pressure that you and I probably can't. If you've been in a similar situation, you can probably understand. But imagine the darkest night of your soul. Imagine the night where you are where your worry and your anxiety is at its highest. This is what they've been living for some time. The tables were completely turned when Trump came to power. They saw things that they really didn't think they would ever see. They were put into situations that they really had never been in before. So this was uncharted territory for them. And I'm just getting ransacked, the word ransacked. So what is the future here? I'm pulling the Hierophant card, and that is really government systems, courts, the traditional structures that provide a basis for our society, the basis of safety, the basis of rule of law. The Hierophant is coming forward as in the immediate future, which is telling me that these structures will endure and will triumph in the end. And it's really a battle. If you look at those two cards, before I pull the next card, it really is a battle between the law and big business and money and Russian money funneling through the systems, potentially to affect the structures that hold the society in place. It is a battle between. Now, which one do you think might win? You've got a Hierophant here. You've got a Knight coming forward with a proposal to provide money. So I'm telling you, the Major Arcana is the stronger card there. So really for McCabe and Rosenstein, we've got new beginnings here. I'm not saying they've been through the worst of it, but there is an opportunity for a fresh start for both of them. And, you know, that is going to be so illuminating for them. It's actually going to, they're living under this grief, this anxiety, this incredible anxiety at the moment, but there are new starts indicated for them. The environment around them, of course, is going to be the Crossroads card for me, which is the Two of Swords. These are heavy choices that people are making at the moment. This is not just Rosenstein or the DOJ or William Barr or Christopher Wray or any of the FBI leadership team. This goes to the heart of the choices that I pulled yesterday. We've got choices to make. The GOP have choices to make. You know, when Mueller finishes his work and demonstrates without a shadow of a doubt that Trump was allegedly acting in Russia's best interests and for the money, allegedly for the money, there are now presently choices to be made. Which side of the fence do you want to be on when all of this lands? So there's potentially compromises there for the GOP. They don't see things as black and white. You know, this is a political party, and of course politics will always rule, but there are compromises at the moment at the foot of the GOP. Now, the fears and the hopes, okay, we've got financial insecurity and financial security. So this is interesting as a hope and a fear. It's coming forward as both the realisation of money in politics and what it has done to really to jeopardise the US and other democracies as well. Money in politics, business donations. People want donations coming from corporates and business and perhaps other state actors, Russia funneling money through the NRA. There is both the hope that those donations, that money will be retained, and it's also the fear of it as well. So what's going to come next? What sort of reform? How honest are people going to be when they have to reform laws around political donations, and particularly those from foreign countries? Now, what we have here as a final outcome is retreat. I feel that both McCabe has retreated to a certain extent. He looked quite worried when I saw him in that 60 Minutes interview. He has been deeply wounded. Now, Rosenstein, I thought there were stories suggesting he may retire or move on from the DOJ. These two have been through an incredibly high-pressured time in the last couple of years, and it may be that they need to move away once Mueller has done his job. But I also feel that this is a period of after battle as well, which is almost saying the war has been won or will be won. And that there will be time for healing once the last of the battle is over. That's what I get a sense here of. I get a sense that this era is coming to some sort of closure. Now, I'm not saying that Donald Trump will step down next week or next month. What I am saying is that potentially this situation is in its last stages. Now, really, to clarify the Four of Swords, I'm pulling the Ace of Pentacles. Now, this is new starts and new ways of doing things, and it's not all, it's not where it's all going to be love and support and joy and everything for everyone's higher good. But there are new starts indicated in this card. It's a new doorway that people will be walking through, and it has a connection to money. So I think that you will see some wider spread. Once all of this has been done and cleaned up, you will see some new reform or some reform coming through in relation to those political donations. I think it will also be new starts for the intelligence agencies who have copped it. They've copped it with Donald Trump. They've been denigrated. They've been held up to ridicule. But it's interesting because this is only is 25% base. I think that for everyone else, it's wake-up time. It's really have a look at what's going on here because there are new starts indicated. So there will be a time of healing when this is all said and done, and there will be new starts. I think one of the key cards here for me is that there is a crossroads aspect to this. There are choices for people to make, and really,